Hola, muy buenos dias. Good morning, continuous liners. This is Megan coming to you live from the streets of Roma Norte in la Ciudad de Mexico. Mexico. Yeah, here it is, Monday morning. I know it's a holiday for those of you in the United States of America. It's Memorial Day. But it is not a holiday here in Mexico. Even if it was, I would still be working, right? It's not like, oh, it's Christmas, I'm not going to not work, not draw. Well, maybe Christmas, I don't know. But yes, Memorial Day, happy Memorial Day to those of you in the United States, and saluting the service people who dedicated their time and service to defending the United States of America. May the day go well, right? Like, you just never know with these types of things these days in the United States. So I hope it's a peaceful day, and I hope it's a pleasant day for those of you everywhere. Muchísimas gracias. So I just got my beautiful latte. Woohoo! Isn't that pretty? It's honestly the highlight of the day, isn't it? The coffee. Alrighty, so I'm out on a bike ride this Monday morning. A little chilly today. I had to bundle up, not bundle up like Chicago bundled up, but I had to, put a scarf on, which I love. I love having to put a scarf on. You know, I went to Puerto Vallarta in September, which is honestly the worst time in the world to go to Puerto Vallarta. And there was just so many people were like almost naked, right? And because it's so hot, it's like almost everyone's naked. And I'm like, I just don't like that kind of living. I don't want to be naked out in public, and I don't want to see others naked in public, right? So I like a climate where I can I'm wearing like a flannel-y shirt, and I had a scarf around my neck, but now I'm inside this adorable cafe here in Roma Norte. I think they're doing some filming here today because they've got like camera people. Well, right now you can't see any of them, but there's guys with big cameras, and because things are set up kind of weird today, but it's an adorable little cafe, and there's tacos right outside the front door, which is, I love that about Mexico. You've got these adorable cafes, but then there's street tacos are never that far away, right? I don't eat a lot of street tacos, but there's a few places that I like to, when the mood hits, go out and have some street tacos, because what fun would it be living in Mexico if you didn't go out and have some street food? And this is like not king, but they're like tops when it comes to street food, right? So if you're with me this morning, Olivia, Sheila, good morning. Let me see if I can adjust my camera a little bit here. And let's do some line warm-ups, right? What the heck? I got my coffee. I'm at an adorable cafe in Roma Norte. I've got my big pen. I've got my copy paper. I need a sip of my coffee now. Little Harry Styles is playing over the machine. Over the airwaves here. As it was. As it was. All right, enough with the dilly-dallying. I'm going to get going here. So I had a conversation with someone yesterday about not caring. Which is something I actually say. It's my personal mantra that nobody cares, right? And it's easy to say that in a very jaded way. I think if we look around, especially on the news, or however you look around and seeing what's happening in the landscape of our lives, and it's easy to think that nobody cares because nobody cares, right? Like in a very self-centered, jaded, like, I don't care about my neighbor, I only care about my advancement, right? So that is not how I say nobody cares, right? I'm not interested in puffing up the society that doesn't care because they're so self-involved, right? The way I say nobody cares, right? Like, I say it to myself, like when I'm out here in public and I'm filming, right? There's people in here, and they look like they're setting up for a photo shoot or something like that. And the girls behind the counter, they're working, they're doing stuff. They don't care that I'm sitting here talking to myself, basically. To those around me, it looks like I'm talking to myself, right? because I am. The phone is not a real person, right? But so I can sit like, okay, Saturday I went to a place just down the street here, and it was a little crowded. It was Saturday, and there was people sitting right next to me, and like not the bartender, the barista, he was standing right there making his coffee, but he was like positioned towards me, so I just felt like everyone was looking at me. Well, they really weren't, but I just felt like my space was very close, right? So I was like, I can't do this, right? A little bit different, I don't like to do live streams on the weekend, but here, Monday morning, people aren't even really awake yet, right? They're just getting it together. So when I'm out here doing my thing, doing my lines, doing my line warm-ups, encouraging my drawing community to draw along with me, or just to remind you to do your drawing warm-up exercises, I just say it to myself. Nobody cares that I'm sitting here talking to myself. Dang. All right. Well, the internet has gone out. Oh, there you are. Internet went out. You kind of have to roll with these things, right? Internet comes in and out, right? So I say my little mantra before I do my urban sketching out on the streets by myself. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that I'm drawing. Nobody cares that I can draw. Nobody cares that I'm standing here drawing, right? Now, they may be interested and they may look, but they don't care like, damn that person. Damn that person for standing there drawing, right? So, anyways, if you are inclined to make art, be an artist, do art, just remind yourself that nobody cares. Now, there are evil people out there that will have an opinion about it. Oh, you're an artist. I've had people say to me, I've said this before, that, oh yeah, you're the one who does those cute little drawings, right? You do those cute little drawings, right? That's me. I do those cute little drawings like a mofo, okay? I can draw like a mofo because I practice. I'm not done. I still have a long ways to go. I have the rest of my life, whatever that is. If it's one day or 100 years, right? I have the rest of my life to continue to practice my drawing, right? And it's a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. It's not just a little side hobby. And I know for some it is just a hobby, and that's totally great. It started out as a hobby for me too, because, when you start out something, you can't exactly make money. Although I'm sure there's people who try, right? So, anyways, the hobby that has been a long time passion that I then started to turn into my a job, right? Doing art workshops, right? Offering urban sketching workshops in and around Mexico, San Miguel de Allende, Guanajuato, La Ciudad de Mexico, Oaxaca, Sayulita, right? I was doing all these urban sketching workshops over the years, right? Partnering with instructors and whatnot. And I loved it. I love it. But these are fast changing times, right? Things are happening quickly. Things are transforming. There's a good word. Things are transforming quickly these days, right? And the nature of my business is changed, right? So it's something else. So I'd like to go back to workshops someday. And so for now, I'm gonna just follow my line, keep drawing, because I feel like by just continuing to be engaged in the thing I love doing, no one's ever promised me it was going to be easy, right? Life's not just a walk in the park always. It can be, right? So I'm just going to keep leaning into this. I was invited to do a live painting this weekend, and it was super fun. I mean, it was a funky event because, first of all, it was pouring rain, so there weren't that many people. It was pouring rain on a Saturday night, right? But the crowd was mostly all Mexican artists, right? So I'm like, oh my God, am I worthy? Am I worthy? Am I worthy? And, all those things in my head. And so when it came my time to go up on stage, I just went up on stage, put the music on in my head. And there was music there, but it was like funky house music, right? So I just kind of went into my thing, did my thing, and I started painting with my fingers, right? So it was super fun. And then when I do that, I kind of lose consciousness. I don't pass out, nothing like that. I just, I'm so happy. I'm even just thinking about it, I'm so happy. It makes me so happy to be just making my art like that, right? Like, I was doing this taco guy, tacos al pastor. You know, I love the whole Mexico City thing, right? So I read about and study about and figure out and find out who the icons are. And the taquero de tacos al pastor is kind of an icon here, right? Mexico City claims to be the birthplace of tacos al pastor, right? So this is not someone you mess around with, right? So I did him as finger painting, and this Mexican guy told me last night he looks like Mario. I'm like, oh my God, he does, the Mario from that video game. So he's Mario el Taquero. But it's super fun, right? Like the whole finger painting thing. Like, first of all, could it be any more like playful and free? And literally, it's like typing, but not, because I don't think of typing as fun at all. But I'm like dancing. That's what it is. Dancing with my fingers. And you know, because the guy before me kind of went long. You know, he was like reading poetry and stuff like that. It kind of went, it was lovely, right? But it just was like, so I just wanted to keep mine very short. And so I did my whole painting in 17 minutes. Not bad, huh? Not bad, right? And then, yeah. So that was fun, right? And then yesterday I was out on a bike ride. This is Sunday is when they shut down the streets here in Mexico City. Not all the streets. It was just the main Paseo de la Reforma. And I was riding, and I had my sketchbook with me, and it was starting to drizzle. And I'm like, God, I really feel like drawing. I really feel like just drawing. Like not dancing. I just feel like doing some hardcore drawing, right? So I got off my bike, and I stood right there in front of the Bolsa. The Bolsa Mexicana, it's their stock exchange. Is that the right word? Their financial center, right? And it's this cool bubble building, and then it's got all these tall, sharp, angular buildings, right? And it was bike day, so there were bikes whizzing by and transitos, and it was drizzling. And I was like, I just got to draw. I don't know what it is. I don't care that it's raining. I don't care it's a complicated architecture thing. And I drew it. I drew. And I got on my bike and went home, went to bed. I'm allowed to do that. Go to bed at 4 p.m, right? Anyway, I mean, I suppose if you're able. I think it was more like 5. I went to bed. I read stuff like that, but you know, it was raining. So, anyways, I love the artist lifestyle, right? I love painting live in front of an audience on Saturday night. Funky finger painting of the taquero guy, and then standing out on the streets doing architecture with one line like a mofo. One line, continuous line urban sketching, or clusk as I like to call it, right? So I definitely feel like I found the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, and now that doesn't mean life is perfect when you find the thing that you love to do, right? I just then when you find the thing that you love to do, then you have to find ways to have it sustain you and be a part of your life, right? And that's therein lies the challenge of life, right? Therein lies the I need a sip of coffee. So with this challenge of life, let me get this in the screen. Not that you can really see it, but it's always nice. Oh, I'm caught. I kind of like you to just see the motion, the effortless that it takes to do the continuous line warm-up, right? Because it's not hard. It's just a dedication, right? It's a practice like anything else. Anything else that's a priority in your life that you want to practice to do, you have to make the effort. You have to put in the time, right? And this is a priority to me. I feel like because I do these exercises, I'm able to stand out in the drizzly street corner in Mexico City in the middle of the whole thing, and I can draw, what was there, 6 buildings, palm trees, bikers, transitos. I mean, honestly, I think it was like 10 minutes. But I kind of lose sense of time when I'm doing that, so it could have been 15, right? But because I practice my lines, I feel like it takes, first of all, it helps me be more fearless. Like, I don't care if I draw this right or not. I'm just going to draw it, right? It just kind of takes that anxiety off. The anxiety still comes and goes, right? I guess that's a reminder that we're alive, right? The anxiety of like the performance anxiety, right? So, a little bit of like, there's a transito looking at me like, what's she doing, right? Because I'm standing on a street corner on a drizzly Sunday. Oftentimes then when they see me drawing, they're like, oh, all right, okay. Not always, because you know what? Not everyone cares that I draw. Some people like literally do not care that I'm drawing. I mean, I've done drawings of people here and I've given it to them and they're just like, why? And then there's other people like, will you please draw me? Will you please draw me? Right? So there's all types out there. But honestly, the ones that I've drawn and given it to them or tagged them and they don't say anything, they're not getting another drawing. You got to pick and choose, right? All right, so here I go. I'm winding my way. I'm not going to do like 800 layers today. I think was that just Friday? I was a little upset about life. It happens, right? Well, gosh, was that just Friday? I think I cried. I did cry. I cried because of how my business is changing, right? And I don't apologize for crying on screen. I mean, I don't want to always cry on screen, right? I'm not crying today, right? My eyes are red. I'm not apologizing for crying on my live stream. It happens. It's life. The sounds of Monday morning. Coffee. Woo! In fact, having that cry on the live stream, it's kind of, there's one thing to cry in the quiet of your house, but to cry out in public where people may see you. First of all, honestly, nobody really cares if you're crying. It's just one of the emotions, right? But it sort of relieved me, right? Like, I got that like anxiety. I was drawing and I was upset about how my business was changing and I wasn't quite prepared for it, right? But then after that class session, I finished my coffee, finished my drawing, paid, got on my bike, and I was like coasting through the streets, and I was like, I think it's going to be okay. I don't know for sure. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but I think it's going to be okay. I mean, there's no guarantees, right? I could get hit by a bus right as soon as I walk out of here. But I feel like if I just stay focused, right, stay centered, and the way I stay centered is by doing this right here. These are my morning pages, right? So helps me stay focused, get clear. Doesn't mean all my problems are solved, but it helps me to solve my problems because it helps me to be able to think more clearly, right? Because when you get that noise in your head, and there's a lot of noise these days with the news and politics and climate change and economy and cost of living, everything, right? Guns, the whole deal, right? So there's a lot of noise in our head, even if we watch, it doesn't even matter what you do. If you try to limit your social media and stuff like that, there's still the noise of the world, right? It's a chaotic world. I think it's always been chaotic. We just have more speakers now. We have more ways to hear about it, right? Like sometimes when I hear about woes in Africa, I mean, I don't mean any disrespect, but I'm like, I don't know what to do with all that, so I can't hear it, right? And I don't mean just Africa, just any place where there's, we have access to bad news everywhere, right? So I sometimes just have to limit all that. And I don't mean that in a privileged sort of a way. I mean, it's more like I don't know what to do with that bad news, and so I need to protect myself so I can take care of things right in front of me, right? I can be a good member of my local society. I can help people where I'm able to. I can, be a friend where I'm able to. Be a good neighbor, right? So sometimes if I get myself too bogged down with news of the world, it limits my ability to be able to be a good person. Because then I have to retreat, right? And there's nothing wrong with retreating. I'll always be a retreater. I love going into my cave and not coming out for a few days. But there's a time and place to go in the bunker. Obviously. We had 3 years in the bunker, didn't we? Or whatever that was. But even that, right? I know it was a tough time, but there were some silver linings. It's a very difficult time for everyone, right? So honestly, I guess the message today is just do what you have to do to take care. Take care. And so you can be able to function and be present in a way that's congruent with your thoughts and your beliefs, right? Because if we're angry, if we're agitated, if we're angry, right, bitter, it's hard to be a good member of any society, right? If you're angry. So we got to do whatever it takes to stay in connection with your art practice. Continue to do tactile things with your hands. Don't be all screens, right? I mean, most of us are big screens, lots of screens, right? Do what you can to stay in touch with your art. Keep yourself centered. Keep myself centered. I'll speak for myself. Keep myself centered. Keep myself grounded. Keep myself sound, nutritionally, holistically, physically, spiritually, the whole deal, right? All right. I am at the end of this one. Let's see. I'm going to make some hearts here. Finish big with a heart. Let me have a sip of my coffee first, though. Finish big with a heart. Remember to go easy on myself and go easy on others. Go easy on myself and go easy on others. We're all just trying to get through it, right? Without too much damage, and maybe with some success and some happiness and some contentment, right? And some good food and some good art and some good experiences and some good travels and some good friends and some good family, right? So I'm going to be heading on home and getting into my fundamentals class. We're coming to the end of May, right? June starts Friday. Oh my God. We're already at the 6th month of the year. The 6th month. June 2023. Amazing. I'm going to start prepping for my trip to Chicago and Wisconsin by starting to paint and draw more cows. So, there we go. Finish big with a heart. There it is. They're starting to look like butts, aren't they? So there we go, everyone. Have a great Monday, a great week. It's Memorial Day, yeah. So if you have the day off, enjoy. Maybe you see a parade. Maybe you eat a hot dog. All those American things, I do kind of miss those. I miss them sometimes. But I'm going to Wisconsin in July. I can't wait. I'm going to have a hot dog. I don't really eat hot dogs, but I'm going to have a hot dog when I get to the Midwest, Chicago. I'm going to have pizza. Oh my God. I'm not really a big pizza eater, but there's no good pizza outside of Chicago, honestly. So when I get to Chicago, I'm going to have a pizza. And at some point, I'll have a hot dog. There you go. Now you know my hopes and dreams. Have a good Monday, everyone. See you later. Bye.